How does Aries girl get on with Virgo man? Well, a good example of this is Keira Knightley and James Wrighton. They have a baby and everything seems to be going rather well right now. But this, astrologically, is an odd couple. And so they probably weren't immediately attracted. It's not unusual that they both come from the thespian theatre acting world, because these couples, when Aries girl and Virgo man come together, they often meet at work, or very often in a time of crisis. Their relationship starts when they develop respect for each other, and from that begins understanding. So Aries girl loves the company of the witty and perky Virgo man, and Virgo man is rather beguiled by this adventurous, go-getting, outspoken, forthright, daring Aries girl. You are both just so different in nature, but this is what causes the chemical attraction between you right at the beginning. What you both love is books and telling each other tales. Aries is the sign of the storyteller, and Virgo is also the sign of the storyteller. You both like to regale each other with tales of what's gone in your life, and because you often come together at work, those tales have that much more relevance. So you are both people of the world, and you believe actions are vital to back up promises and platitudes. If Virgo girl says she's going to do something, she damn well will, and if Virgo man says he's going to do something, he damn well will, and if Aries girl says she's going to do something, she's as good as her word. But neither of these signs like to go back once they've made not only a promise, but a commitment. So there's quite a powerful sexual attraction between these two. There's quite a unique chemistry that draws you both together, even if you are not compatible in other ways. So it can be like chalk and cheese, where you're not really complementary, you're just totally different, but this creates a lot of interest, and that fuels this chemistry. So sometimes Aries girl can get really impatient with the Virgo man's reserve, because Virgo men are cautious, they're rather reticent about putting emotions on the line, and Aries girl just is quite daring, just wants to live for the day, doesn't want to really plan, just wants to seize the moment, where Virgo like to think things through just a little bit more. So Virgo man might find the Aries girl a little bit too hasty and maybe a tad aggressive. As I say, Virgo man thinks everything through. He's highly cerebral, he's rational, he's got it all going on in the head. Aries, they don't look before they leap. Aries girl wants to jump right in. However, Virgo man just can help tame Aries girl a little bit because she respects him, and he can help her to be more considered and organized and also healthy, because a Virgo man can do wonders for Aries girl's health and dietary motivation, because Virgo men are often very fitness conscious, very into their diet, often very into the gym. I mean, Aries girl, she loves her sports, but often she's not as holistic about her health as she could be. So Aries girl often craves kind of more passion and more spontaneity. And so while Virgo man is a changeable person who's eager to embrace change, he's often not very spontaneous. And sometimes Virgo man can find Aries girl just pushes his buttons and brings a great deal of angst into his life that he might well be able to do without. So Virgo man could be in two minds. He could think, wow, this is exciting and I like it. But he thinks a lot of the things this Aries girl is doing makes me damn uncomfortable. I'm not so sure I want to go with this. And Aries girl thinks, well, I'm curious about this relationship. I'd like to see where it goes. But on the other hand, sometimes I feel it's a bit staid and predictable. However, this combination can be quite transformative, especially for Virgo man. And yet that transformation does come with turbulence and drama, which you may both prefer to avoid or just walk away from. So the ongoing relationship here relies on you both having an appetite for self-development, because this relationship can definitely make you both better people, as long as you just see the clues and follow them with an open heart and mind rather than fighting them. So, because on the one hand we have Aries, which is a fire sign, and it's a cardinal sign ruled by Mars, and on the other hand we have Virgo, which is an earth sign, an immutable sign ruled by Mercury. There's just not very much in common here at all, and not much in common between your rulers, Mercury and Mars, so it's not a natural match. Fate will have to throw you together because you're so different, so you probably wouldn't meet in a usual dating scenario. like at a pub or a club or with friends. So your first date is also likely to be a bit of an eye-opener, probably be quite bizarre, also quite awkward. So both Aries girl and Virgo man love the candor, right? So let's not beat about the bush. Let's just call it a downright brutal honesty, because this is what you both are. There's often nowhere to hide in this match because it's so critical and it's so intense. You both get under each other's skin. And while you're always there for each other and are mutually supportive, you do tend to argue and bicker. You are very easily annoyed by one another, and your life tends to be filled with stress and disruption rather than with an easygoing vibe. Both of you are kind of fidgets, and you bring out the restlessness in each other. You know, there's no doubt that the easy chairs in your house will never be sat in, because neither of you are inclined to just sit back, let the world pass you by, and chill. You guys don't know the meaning of the chill pill. You're always on the go, always thinking. So you're both always busy, and there often could be little time to connect emotionally or establish an affectionate and loving style of relating. You're kind of bouncing off each other rather than really getting to relate. So you work very well together. You two could be fantastic at running a business together because you have very different skills, but you may both increase the workaholic tendencies in each other. You may just drive yourself into the ground with overwork, so do be careful of that, because you both tend to push each other, and you also both want to kind of impress each other and show each other how well you're doing, but this often leaves little time for relaxation and little time for nurturing the loving and intimate side of the relationship. Often Virgo man feels taken for granted because Aries girl is very demanding, and it's in Virgo man's nature to feel obliged and to be a very helpful companion, and that can mean Virgo man morphs into a kind of dog's body, albeit a complaining one, because he won't be very happy about the situation. An Aries girl may feel that Virgo man is really smart and canny, and this may make Aries girl a little bit suspicious of Virgo man, feeling that she's been kind of subtly manipulated by him because he's so much more careful and clever with words. So Virgo man is a great deal of emotional intelligence. Virgo man tends to be wiser. Aries girl is somewhat immature. So in this relationship, it really isn't good if the Virgo man is a lot older than Aries girl, because it's going to just exacerbate the sense that the one has the upper hand in terms of wisdom and life experience, and the other one's kind of very naive, very idealistic, because you're still going to get that even when they're the same age. So that can lead to the Aries girl feeling a little bit on the back foot in this relationship, because she feels that, he's just got a greater level of awareness and understanding that she possibly doesn't have. And so Aries can tend to become a lot more assertive and bossy to compensate with that. But the problem is, if Aries girl gets a lot more bossy and demanding, it's really going to send Virgo man away and estrange him. So Aries girl, you just have to learn to become, more savvy, more intuitive, and not to feel intellectually inferior in this relationship, because you really aren't, and you should never feel that way. You just have a different way of looking at things to Virgo man, and both of the ways you look at things are totally valid. They're just different. So there's always a lot to talk about in terms of money, and Virgo man may assume charge of the money. Virgo man often wants to be the family banker and investor, and Aries girl has to be careful not to lose sight of what goes on in the money side of life. Virgo man, as I said with the fitness and the diet, does in general encourage more discipline in Aries girl, and also more concern for health and diet, and also encourages the Aries to be more diligent about the way they do their work and encouraging them to improve the skills. So particularly in acting, it's possible that Kira's husband might encourage her to become a more skillful actor with a better repertoire of kind of acting abilities and skills, rather than just relying on one particular style of acting. He could introduce her to a kind of more clinical and what would you say? Sorry, not that key, not au fait with all the acting words, but yes, he could help her to be a better, more accomplished actress, could I say. Virgo man is often quite a strict taskmaster, and Aries girl may find themselves firmly put in their place, because Virgo man could be quite critical, and as I say, he's got very high standards, and he's going to hold Aries girl to those standards. So Aries can't be their kind of normal slapdash any old how. They have to up their intensity level, up their efficiency level and just get to become a little bit more perfectionistic. So Aries can awaken a sexual desire in Virgo man, quite unlike any other of the star signs. And it's rather exciting for Virgo man because he can access his sexual adventure via Aries girl. So astrologers often wrongly assume that Virgo man, because of the kind of name association with virgin, is a prudish or stuck-up lover who never lets his hair down, but this is really wrong, because Virgo man, ruled by Mercury, is a curious and ever-changing sign which is very interested in all aspects of human experience. And as an earth sign, Virgo man enjoys the pleasures of the flesh, and he's often a red-hot lover who really knows his onions when it comes to sex. So rather than the chilly hot alpha Aries girl lover having to woo an ice king, it's rather the experienced and sexually knowledgeable Virgo man having to intimately educate a veritable sexual toddler in Aries girl. I Want to Know What Love Is, I Want You to Show Me is the song that springs to mind when I think of these two. Virgo man loves to teach, and they have loads to teach Aries girl about sex in terms of techniques, finesse, and style. And Virgo man can create a much better lover out of Aries girl, who thus far has always been rather instinctive and impulsive about sex, probably ignorant about the finer points. However, there is a but coming. Sex can become sophisticated between you guys, but it may never be loving or highly affectionate. You're both impatient, too impatient possibly, to cultivate the deeper aspects of the spiritual or soul connection. Aries girl and Virgo man tend to get closer spiritually and emotionally over time and via crisis and joint challenges rather than, say, sex. There's a great deal of mutual respect, and as you're so different, you don't really compete, which lessens the strife. Virgo man will never box Aries girl in, and while Aries girls are known to be bossy, they never quite get control of smarty pants Virgo man. You're both highly organized and motivated people, but in totally different ways, so you can be extremely effective as parents and as a couple, just in your social life and your business life. You both may adore reading, so I think there's going to be a house with lots of bookshelves or magazine racks or newspapers laying around. Aries girl does get annoyed at the indecisiveness of Virgo man, and Aries girl might wish for a more demonstrative and emotionally assertive partner who is affable and who seeks to cuddle up to Aries girl and share evenings on the couch, cozying up. Aries girl is quite traditional, and Virgo man is very modern. Aries girl enjoys one-to-one time, where you just soak each other up and no words are needed. But Virgo man is kind of always antsy and looking for stimulation. Virgo man may crave a partner who is more verbally expressive than Aries girl and who likes to explore concepts. Aries girl could be a little bit too grounded for Virgo man, who likes to seek escape. So while Virgo man is the earth sign, sometimes he actually finds Aries girl too grounded for him, and he's wanting someone to kind of sweep him off his feet. Mentally, probably, and through the imagination. However, Virgo man certainly appreciates the color and imagination that Aries girl brings to life. Virgo man loves the Aries girl's adventurous style. But however, often Aries girls settle down and become less daring, and that's when Virgo man kind of loses interest. Because Aries girl love that Virgo man is caring and also practical and responsible, because Aries girl are attracted to mature, level-headed sorts who's self-sufficient. And Virgo man ticks many boxes for Aries girl, especially second and third decan Virgo man. Those are the Virgos born after the 2nd of September. They are actually the most ideal for Aries girl. The third decan Aries girl, i.e. those Aries born between the 11th and the 20th of April, also get on especially well with Virgo man, because those Aries are less likely to get sort of set in their ways and settled, because like I say, one of the problems with Aries girl is while she's such an adventurous, outgoing type, as she gets older she gets very mature and becomes almost quite homesy. And that's when problems can set in with Virgo man, but that's less likely to happen with third decan Aries. So there's a huge amount going on in this match, but I'm concerned that in the good times you guys may just drift apart, whereas the bad times and adversity will really bind and unite you. You need goals to kind of motivate and excite you and also to bring you together. This helps glue the relationship. If life is too easy, you may just take each other for granted, and there can even be an indiscretion. possibly on Virgo man's side, but this is by no means certain. Albeit, even if there is an indiscretion, it will be totally meaningless and totally down to boredom, because you're both easily bored. So, in order to keep your love life red hot, to keep you together and to prevent any indiscretions, what you need is to keep your sexual, career, and family to-do list totally full. I'm excited about this. Early days for Kira and her partner, but we're going to see how they get on, because I think this is going to be one of the more successful showbiz celebrity relationships.